I was just about to say, Henry, that I'm a little bit further north of the Watford gap usually than Matthew Edgar, but I actually live south of Watford these days, which is why I feel a bit more chilly these days in these temperatures. But as for these two, maybe on what they've done in their careers to date, you could say they're the best two players in this group. But maybe not today so far. But what we can say is that Richard North has put in some rather unexpected brilliance.
Game on.
He's up against a Hendo who is craving another 2 points. Not so desperately right now, but if he was to lose to North, he would then be 4 points behind his opponent in the table.
I was just looking there when the graphic come up there and saw Richard North at 32 years old. And it made me
26.
Almost surprised, really, when we look at darts and we see that players don't have this sort of second coming. Because actually, if we look at the positives, we say, right, Richard North, 32 years
125.
old, still young for a dart player. He's got incredible pedigree in the fact that he's played in things like the World Grand Prix, the World Match Play, the World Championships. He's played in all these big events. And you say he's got that sort of pedigree. That
81.
Actually, if we was ticking boxes, you'd say Richard North should be due another big sort of run somewhere. But we don't tend to see it that often with darts, where people sort of drop off the tour and sort of come back.
180.
The strange quirk of the sport.
You never know. The start of 2023 could see
36.
Richard make
you
his
require
comeback.
136.
And as for starts, this isn't too bad. He was going for the 16s again on that 136 that he got earlier.
56.
There's a lot of great method in the way he does that. Well, like I said in the previous match, these are the only two players
100. Richard,
in this group who have been to a final of a Professional Darts Corporation event. He's going 2 double tops. And he gets 2 double tops.
And the first leg,
Classic Richard North. And if you think that is him being a bit of a show-off, it's not, because it's just what he does.
I was on commentary a couple of weeks ago, actually, and Richard North messaged in.
Game on.
Me and the wife of the Slade in bed watching it. Could you just give us a bit of a shout out, but just make a bit of a comment? And
100.
I said, shout out to Richard North, who's laying in bed right now, and he's challenged his partner Tracy to a game of darts where the loser does the dishes.
65.
And he was going to give her a +5 head start in a race to 10. That was, well, I came in today, and the first thing he had to tell me was that he didn't do the dishes that day.
82.
I was going to say, what was the margin she won by?
Well, it'd be 10-5, wouldn't it? Because he had the 5 head start.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, there's been a bit of a...
60.
Somewhat, what's the right way to put this? An interesting joke saying that maybe Richard isn't the best dart player in his own household.
59.
Tracy's very useful. I just want to go back to 2017, which I know is 5 and a bit years ago.
140.
But that's when Richard was playing his best darts. He made a Pro Tour final in August of that year, where he lost out to Dave Chisnell. Now, he should have won that game. He had a match dart
60
to be a PDC Pro Tour winner. He lost 6-5 to Chizzy. But en route to that final, he beat the likes of Stephen Bunting, Joe Cullen, Steve West, Ryan Meikle, Ricky Evans. Good run. Worked really hard to get there. Few wins by the odd leg. He's definitely still got the talent. And when you've still got the time as well, you can't write someone off.
Well, you say you can't write someone off.
22.
As I'm just looking at the face of John Henderson, it's just sinking. He is a guy that is absolutely running on fumes for me. He's tired, he's fatigued, and I think he just wants to get this first
56.
day over with and, like you say, have a good rest, get himself ready. Because even though the Challenge Tour yesterday would have ended about 1-2 o'clock for him, he's then got to travel down here from Milton Keynes, which is another sort of 3 hours.
128. Richard, you require 122.
He'll keep swinging, he'll keep batting.
618s there from Hendo. And that's what Northey was searching for a shot at double 7.
49. John, you require 50.
Well, Hendo's not going to go straight for the bull.
That's
but he is going to find
and the
one double
second
top.
leg. John Henderson.
He is a very big Celtic fan, you know. It's
Third
almost as
leg
if
is
you
Richard
can't
to throw
even mention the
first.
word
Game
Rangers
on.
around him. I find it quite surprising that he's wearing that colour, actually, because it's a lot closer to the Rangers colour than Celtic. He'll hate me for saying that.
140.
But I was privileged enough to go to John's wedding to his beloved Veronica, who's a wonderful lady. That was a great occasion. There were some other dart players there like Brendan
134.
Dolan, Justin Pipe, Ian White, and some of the great dart players from up in Scotland as well.
65.
I remember a conversation I was having in Germany, and was talking a bit of FIFA with
140.
William Borland, and he started getting on the conversation about Ryan Kent, and he was starting to compare him to Kevin De Bruyne.
121.
Yeah. You don't need me to explain the facial expressions of Paul Nicholls. You can imagine what it's like. Ryan Kent and Kevin De Bruyne comparison.
That's like trying to compare me with
57.
Kevin De Bruyne.
John Henderson and Andy Bolton was on the board next to it. I have never seen two players jump into a conversation so quick to shoot it down. I can't repeat the words that was said, but they wasn't very positive towards the opinion of William Borland.
135. Johnny require 170.
Oh, that would have cheered him up, but not on this occasion.
85.
Only gets half of it.
Richard, you require 40.
And Tops is getting a hammering in this game. It's barely been missed. But it is this time.
30.
And he gives Hendo a freebie.
John, you require 85.
It's going to be Tops.
Game
Oh,
shot.
it's
and
right in the
third
corner.
leg.
That's not
John
the first time he's done
Henderson.
that today. He's hit the bottom right corner. It's almost like a penalty taker like Henrik Larsson. He's finding all the corners and he's hitting the back of the net.
Fourth leg, it is John to throw first. Game on.
So if that was the penalty and that's Henrik Larsson in the top corner, I'm guessing Richard North would be
58.
Harry Kane at the World Cup.
I'm not seeing anything.
I'm about to get the abuse on Twitter now. I'm going to have to turn my Twitter off.
95.
Let's talk about something else. How about the time when John Henderson made a European Tour final back in 2015 at the start of that campaign? He's got himself a maximum. He's starting to take charge of the match. And if Northey does not
77.
start finding a lot of inner ring action, Hendo could get himself to 4 points alongside Danny Smith, Lee Budgeon and Northey.
99.
Sensible use of the switch to leave the finish. But yeah, back in 2015, in April of that year, he lost out to Michael van Gerwen in the European Tour final by the odd
61.
leg. So that's another thing
Johnny
they've got in
Require,
common. They've both been to
164.
finals and they've lost by the odd leg. It's not as if they were butchered in their finals. Great stuff from John.
124.
Another top sleeve. But en route to that final, he beat Cristo Reyes 6-3. He beat Michael Smith, the current world champion, by 6 legs to 4. Beat Andrew
81.
Gilding, Brendan
John,
Dolan,
you require 40.
Adrian Lewis, and lost out to MVG. What a run it was.
10.
Now I'm going to ask you a very straight to the point question. Going for double 15 there, was that the right thing to do with Richard North on 187?
I'll give you two
80.
answers. One answer
John, you
is the
require
right one,
30.
which is no. And the other answer is the answer I'd do, and I'd have gone for it as well. But that's
That
because
is
I do
game
like
shot and the fourth
double
leg.
15. And
John Henderson.
John Henderson, if he does like that sort of 20 and 10s combination, the 15 isn't too far away from there. It's just that split down that people don't like. I do actually. Big fan
Fifth
of
leg,
double
it is
15
Richard to
myself,
throw
so
first. Game on.
I get why he's doing it, but if you was advising someone, you'd potentially advise the opposite.
On another note, because the switch from double top to double 10 is very similar
100.
from double 5 to double 15, is that one of the reasons why he may have done it? Because it's a natural switch?
Yeah, I don't see an argument against that point, actually.
134.
It was a point well made.
I think what John would say is, I had a shot at it and I hit it eventually, so all is good in the world.
85.
So just one more leg to wrap up round number 4. Henderson's last match of the day will be against Danny Smith in game 14.
57.
Northey will have to wait one more. He'll be up against Rhys Colley to finish the campaign for Monday.
77.
Did make reference to the fact that I felt John Henderson was very tired and fatigued at the start of this game, but he's finding
100.
some good darts here. His average raising to about the 85 mark now. And you sort of feel he's just swinging. He's running on fumes,
39.
but he's got enough experience to know how to convert these opportunities and keep himself in the running, because he has only got that one win on the board today.
He probably gets more
100.
bouts of sore feet after a day on the oche like this than anybody else, because he actually sways on the balls of his feet more than other players.
100. John, you
These sort
require
of trainers will be
110.
more suitable for him, and also making sure that that heel's not lifting within the trainer as well, because that's when you start getting blisters.
He's got 2 trebles. Just the wrong ones.
32.
Well,
Richard, you require 100.
Richard North on 100. You know where he's going if he doesn't get the treble.
Provided he keeps this one straight. Tops, tops.
Ah, double 10.
90.
Now, I think he would have
John, you
gone
require
double top,
78.
had there not been a flight in the way. It proved to be the right decision, but he just couldn't execute it. As for Hendo, he
Game,
does
shot,
execute it, and that's
and
a
the match,
4-1 victory.
John Henderson.
And that makes his position in the table feel a lot more comfortable. That now gets him to 4 points, and that puts Rhys Colley at the basement of the table. He's the sole player, now on 2. That's John's best performance of the day, and that will make him feel good ahead of his last game against Danny Smith in a couple of games' time. We'll take a short break, but it's going to be Lee Budgeon and Niall Cullerton finishing their campaign for Monday first, and that's after this.